I'm Nick Riccardi, a national political writer based in Denver, Colorado, and this is a pretty historic night. The Colorado State Supreme Court just ruled in a 4-3 opinion that Donald Trump is not eligible to run for president in this state. They ruled that under the 14th Amendment's rarely used insurrection clause, that somebody participating in engaging in an insurrection against the Constitution can't hold office again in the United States. And they ruled that applies to Trump. The next step is the US Supreme Court, and that'll be the final step probably in this entire epic. The nation's highest courts never ruled before on Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. That's a two-sentence clause in the Civil War era amendment that was used only a few times about 150 years ago to keep former Confederates out of government. Since then, it's been largely in disuse until the January 6th attacks. If the Supreme Court upholds the Colorado decision, it's obviously the end for Trump's political career. He can't run for office again in the United States. Because no one has ever struck a presidential candidate from the ballot under Section 3, and because the US Supreme Court has never said what Section 3 means, courts have been really hesitant to act on these lawsuits. A lot of them have gotten dismissed based on very technical legal issues like do they have standing? Um, we can't determine this for the primary, but for the general election, you're welcome to come back. Basically, judges have been kind of dodging this. Secretaries of state, the top elections officials in most states, have said, no, this is really out of our league. We can't decide it either. We need the courts to tell us. The courts have not been telling. Well, now somebody has kind of put their head above the trench line and said, yes, officially it does mean he can be disqualified. And that may well give cover, particularly to kind of some more liberal leaning jurisdictions to try and to go ahead and bar Trump from the ballot. The reaction from President Trump and his supporters was incredibly harsh right away. They have branded these cases for months as election interference, as a plot by Joe Biden, as allies to get him kicked off the ballot, as short-circuiting the will of the voters. And they're not necessarily alone in this. This was a 4-3 ruling, a court of 7 democratically appointed justices, and 3 of those democratically appointed justices were really uncomfortable taking this step. And 4 of them obviously were not and thought it was very clear. And this isn't necessarily legally an issue that cuts on partisan lines. There's a number of conservative scholars who have really argued forcefully that the plain text of the Constitution means Donald Trump can't be president anymore. It doesn't matter whether you like him or not. It's in the Constitution, and that's the way conservatives like to do the law. And there are a number of more liberal courts that have said, hey, this really shouldn't be up to us, or have said we can't get involved. This is a political question, not the sort of thing that courts can get involved in. So because this has never been done before in American history, we're really plowing new legal ground here, and it's not breaking down on kind of traditional ideological lines. Politically, obviously, Trump is absolutely outraged, but his attorneys make a very strong argument that, look, this is democracy in action. He gets to run again, and the voters will decide whether or not he's a threat to the republic. It shouldn't be up to unelected judges to do it. And I think it raises a lot of very challenging questions about the way our country runs, and whether or not he should stay on the ballot or not. And that's one of the reasons these cases have been so interesting to watch.